Please don't remove them right away until I can block their account.
My bad. I'm sorry. It just sounded like
It's okay. It's okay. No, I muted him and I was trying to block his account, and before I could do that. Sorry. Just wait a second. Just give me a few more seconds to do that. Loser, welcome. Go ahead.
Hello, I had a question about the vision that Muhammad had, the Prophet Muhammad, and Archangel Gabriel visited him and kind of gave him Allah's word. And I'm wondering what your position is on that story and the writings of the Quran.
It's patently absurd because all that follows contradicts God's previous revelation. And so what the Muslims have to do is they have to shoot themselves in the foot by saying that Allah allowed his previous revelation to be utterly corrupted and obliterated.
But the Quran doesn't say that. That's them saying
that. That's the ad hoc special pleading. You see, in order to insulate and preserve Islam from complete falsification, because the Quran affirms the previous revelation. The Quran affirms the Hebrew and the Christian scriptures. The Quran is clear about this, right? But Muhammad, being ignorant and uneducated about the biblical teachings, Muhammad just impugned the Jews as the Christians as to uttering oral representations that didn't match the scriptures, okay? But nowhere in the Quran does it say that the Christians and the Jews corrupted the text type of God's revelation. So because the Hebrew and the Christian scriptures flatly contradict the Quran in numerous places, Muslims, because they do not want to give up in their cultural and ancestral devotion that Muhammad was the final prophet, they have to come up with a form of special pleading or an ad hoc rescue and saying, well, they corrupted the text type. In other words, the text type of the scriptures was completely obliterated from history. In other words, there were no remaining exemplars in history of the original text type. Okay? Which they have no historical or forensic basis for that whatsoever, right?
But they will still appeal to verses in the Bible when it's convenient for them.
Some of them will, some of them won't, you know.
So do you personally believe
hold on a second. Hey, Big Data, I'm going to block your account. I'm going to block it for a very simple reason, is because you're not just saying stuff that's egregiously false. You're just lying in the text. Okay, you don't even actually believe that. Okay, so I'm going to block your account because if you're going to come into my stream and you're just going to outright lie like that, I don't want people coming in here who are willfully lying. Go ahead, loser.
Oh, I was just going to ask if you personally believe that the Archangel Gabriel visited the Prophet Muhammad. Do you think, what's your position on just that part of the story?
Of course not. Of course not. Listen, when you have a general understanding of Islam and Quranic teachings, right? You don't even have to be an expert of it. The Quran bears no genre resemblance to the writings of the Old and New Testament. They're just not. The Quran reads like just somebody talking off the top of their head. Did you know that the books are just ordered from the largest to the smallest? There's no historical or thematic order to the books of the Quran. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Did you know that the third caliph, okay, the person who took over for Muhammad, Uthman, he called in all the copies of the Quran all over the Arabian world because they were infighting going on because they had contradictory Qurans. So Uthman ordered they all be called into a central location. Then Uthman decided what the text type would be. He destroyed and burned all the other text types. And then he said, okay, only this text type is to be authorized to be made of authoritative copies to be sent to the major cities and then copies from that. Nothing like that ever happened in Judaism or Christianity. If we were to remove the groupthink and the historical and cultural indoctrination of Islam, there wouldn't be that many Muslims. It's because it is integrally combined with ancestry, culture, nationality, history. Okay. Muslims believe that the Arabs are a special people for God, and they think that the Jews are lower than pigs. They actually believe this.
Lower than pigs? That's something that's from the Quran, or that you've heard people say?
The Quran, you see, Muhammad had two stages. At first, he wasn't hostile toward the Christians and the Jews, but once he reached a certain level of military power, he then turned on the Christians and Jews, and he became hostile to them. Okay? They either had to repent and become Muslims or pay taxes and become second-class citizens. Right? The more look, unless you're infected with the groupthink and the confirmation bias, it is easy. It is a cakewalk to see that Islam, when we look at the doctrinal pillars of Islam, it is just simply a corruption, a very poor corruption by a 7th century Arabian warlord. That's all it is.
Another train wreck